Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of First Look. And in this edition of First Look, we'll be doing First Look UFC Fight Night, Luque versus Dos Anjos. So yeah, it's typical. I'm going to give a couple picks that I feel stick out to me. But this one will be a little bit different because I feel this card's not really a whole lot of fights that truly stick out to me. It's some ones you could say stick out to some extent, but it's not really looking like a stellar card for me as far as like, it's not looking like a stellar card like, oh, that guy's such a good dog or that's such a great value. Like that's gonna go in only only minus 200, minus 300 for that. A fight that, for sure probably this guy gonna win or this girl gonna win, or this person's a plus 200 dog to this person that stylistically they should beat. But I guess because this person got one good win recently, that had nothing to do with the stylistic matchup. There's not really a whole lot of that on this card, or at least not the full thing. It could be value that seem like don't make no sense, which I'll throw one of those out. The value don't make too much sense to me. But yeah, it's not a whole lot of, I guess, great values that stick out to me, or ones that I would pick and say is great value. It might be a case of yeah. So first one that sticks out to me right now is Jacqueline Amarim versus Montserrat Ruiz. Her value is not really phenomenal. Again, I said it's not a whole lot of great value on this card. I think she's like minus 250 or something, minus 270. I think even minus 300. But either way, she got up in that upper 200s or low 300s, and the value is pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. I just think what does Reed really got? She got a little weak head and arm throw, some decent grappling, but I think Amarim, the better striker. She has the finishing threat on the feet. She has heavy hands, very explosive, very strong. She's bigger, younger, hits harder, more technical on the feet, more technical ground. She's better everywhere. Montserrat Ruiz is tiny. She got heart. Maybe that'd be her path to victory. But other than that, she really ain't got nothing on Amarim. Amarim's like getting better everywhere. Can finish her on the feet, can finish on the ground. It's really just, I can see one-way traffic. I can see this dominant performance. And, Amarim get the win she wanted in her debut. And I can't really see I can't really see what Ruiz could do. Her takedown offense is pretty terrible. She got a weak little hit and arm throw. She ain't really got no wrestling. She got a little weak little hit and arm throw. So it's not like she's like her last opponent. She don't have the size of her last opponent. She don't have the wrestling skills of her last opponent. She don't have the option of her last opponent. She don't have the work rate. And now again, Jacqueline Amarim has the experience of that first fight, and she's gonna come in better condition, and really limit that one path that Ruiz really has, which is gonna be like kind of trying to outgrit her. Like she's been there, done that, and it's gonna be a rebound and come there and either get the fight done or be able to beat her for 3 rounds. But I think she's gonna get it done. So I think the value is good, and I think that one should go in like 99 times out of 100. I think that one should go in. So that's a good value, giving that. And also you can parlay, you can do in the distance, which I think will probably hit as well. So, but I think that's good value, and I would feel comfortable putting decent money on that value, giving that matchup. So second one, what am I gonna draw the second one? Oh yeah, I'm only doing like 3. I'm doing say a fourth one that is like not when I'm actually picking or investing anything or off the first look. As the video says, as far as first look, I'm not investing nothing off this one. I care at all for that one because it's not actually not even a pick. It's just me saying this is actually kind of a terrible value given what I've seen. It's a terrible value. But yeah, that's gonna be the fourth one. I'm gonna get through the other 2. Then I'm gonna tell you the fourth one is not even a pick. It's just me like saying that's kind of terrible, to be honest, for me. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that's the one I'm gonna go with. This, somebody's favorite play. A lot of people's favorite play. But nah. For me, no. But second one, Khalil Roundtree versus Chris Dawkins. I think that's a good value. I think Khalil Roundtree is still like minus 218. And I get it. I've been burnt a lot by Khalil Roundtree, so I can understand why the value is where it's at. But Chris Dawkins is coming down from heavyweight and dropping into a fight that could get him ranked in his first fight. It's like he's dropping down at the bottom end. It's not like Khalil Roundtree's at the top end either, but Khalil Roundtree like kind of sitting at that top 15 area, and Kyle Dawkins is dropping down. If he wins, he's in the rank. He's pretty much ranked. So I don't think it's a good spot for Chris Dawkins. Coming off consecutive knockout, like 3-fight knockout losing streak. Now he's coming down there and going in there with one of the pound for pound heaviest hitters in MMA history, and actively, and one of the pound for pound most hurt you type fighter, like guy that's gonna fatality you. And I forgot his name, just like that. I was talking about his name. Yeah, and Khalil Roundtree. So, and the value is good for me, especially in the distance. That's how Khalil Roundtree wins in the distance. Chris Dawkins, not Chris. Yeah, it's Chris, not Cal. Chris is coming off several knockout losses, and he's going in with a heavy hitter who's faster than the guys he's been fighting. Because obviously, a light 205 versus 265. That's a 60-pound difference. So you're gonna have a faster guy who hits like a heavyweight and has the speed of a middleweight. He's that blood and guts type fighter that's gonna go out there and kill or be killed. My really main avenue where Chris could get in the fight is if he uses grappling. When I look at his record, I don't see no real instances of him using grappling. No, his brother is more heavily in the grappling as far as in his fights. I know in the gym, anybody could be anything in the gym, but it's what have you shown in your fights? And he has shown much. He's shown he going in with these heavy hitters, he gets slept, and he's shown not to really mix it in grappling or really seen any much of his grappling in his game. And they say like one submission win on his record. But I look at the record, I don't see a submission win at all. So yeah, I don't really see it in his game. So he's gonna be striking with a more technicals, faster guy. He ain't gonna be having no big side. He ain't gonna be like no 6'6" dude coming down. Would not. If he was 6'6", that mean he'd be even more drained and be even more susceptible to getting knocked out. So I don't see the avenue for him to win. When I look at the people who have typically beat Khalil Roundtree, it's been a couple instances where it's been guys that have been able to get on that bike and just avoid him and land a couple shots. Then he kind of wears down, is looking for these big load up shots. But Chris Dawkins ain't really no fleet-footed dude that's gonna be out there tag, slip, move, and do nothing like that. He really ain't got no real good mobility like that. Yeah, I just see him getting flatlined. So the minus 200 value, the lower minus 200s, really even up to 300s for me. I feel like low 300s for me. I feel that's a great value for the little Roundtree. So right now at the minus 200, I think that's a steal. And to be able to get that in plus money, even though it's such little plus money, like this flat out plus 100. I think that's still a good value, and I think that's the very likely outcome. That's how he wins fights. Very few wins of Khalil Roundtree have come by decision, and it has not been by his choice. He didn't go out there like looking to point fight. He went out there looking to take your head out. So very few of the fights that he won that did go to decision. He was not attending on him going to decision. He was looking to finish his opponent. So he's not a fight out there looking to point fight at all. And he's going with a chinny dude who's now cutting like 30, 40 pounds or 20 pounds, and Chinari suspect at heavyweight. Now you're going to have even less chin at light heavyweight when you go in there with a guy that hits like a super heavyweight with the speed of like a welterweight. I just see it's the recipe for disaster. But again, I understand how inconsistent Khalil Roundtree could be. Even when you look at the fights in hindsight, Iwan, or how you say it, Ion Kudilaba, he supposed to be some Greco-Roman champion, several time Greco-Roman champion in his country or whatnot. So he has a wrestling background. And we seen him I'll wrestle some other wrestler. I'm forgetting the name right now. But anyway, yeah. We see the people who have wrestled him, and you look at them more recently, not just look at them how they were pictured in the time they did beat Khalil Roundtree versus you look at them as a whole. You're like, oh, I understand that to some extent. Was it a good loss? You could say it was a good loss. Not necessarily, but you could kind of understand it. But Chris Dawkins, he don't fit that mold, or he doesn't really even have the narrative there at all. It's not even going to be no hindsight. Oh, in hindsight, Chris Dawkins was this, Chris Dawkins was that. Well, hey, watch, it might be like, well, he did train with his brother, whose brother used jiu-jitsu a lot, so you kind of expect that maybe he has the same level of jiu-jitsu than you had be that. But yeah, you can say that with anything, though. You could be feeling confident about this and everything seems to line up. Then you find that one thing you missed and it'd be that. But all I'm saying, that's for every single thing. With every single thing. Sometimes the locks end up being that way, sometimes the high confidence, a lot of times the low confidence. But I feel pretty good that with that value, and with this matchup, I think Khalil Roundtree should win that one and win it in the distance. And he only knows one way to win, or at least one way to finish, and that's by knockout, at least at this level. So knocking him out, probably first round. So that's nothing you could probably add to that. First round knockout, Khalil Roundtree. I don't think it'll be no second round. He's going to run through him. So you got probably get plus 100 for general KO any round for Khalil Roundtree. Or you could go KO 1 and probably get like plus 200, plus 300. But maybe even go under 60 seconds. But I say first round is good enough. And then the third and final one I'm going to say for this one is the main event. Vicente Luque versus Rafael Dos Anjos. So Vicente Luque is, I think, like 32 years old. Rafael Dos Anjos is like 38, 39. So he's getting up there in age. He's really a lightweight, cut up to welterweight. He has had a decent stint at welterweight at times, especially when he first came up to welterweight. He had a good stint before getting derailed by Kobe Covington in a close fight, to be honest. But yeah, he's gone up there in age. And he's coming off a win where he was able to just take down a fighter who doesn't have the best BJJ and submit him in Brian Barberena. And a lot of people have been able to do that to Brian Barberena. But he has a good win to bounce back. Easy stylistic matchup, but he made it look easy. But Vicente Luque has pretty decent takedown defense. Not the best, but I think he has good enough takedown defenses to get up. And also, I don't feel like to defend and get up. I also don't feel like Rafael Dos Anjos has the most consistent wrestling path. Like he's got us going to really push the pace, especially at pushing 40. He might go for like 4 takedowns. Might even go 3 or 4. Might have a good ratio with it. But how many of those will be sustained takedowns? How much will he be able to do stuff with? On top of that, Vicente Luque, I think he's a black belt in BJJ as well. Or if he's not a black belt in BJJ, he has a very sufficient BJJ game. He's very understanding of it. So it's hard to submit him, hard to finish him on the ground. Unless you like truly, truly special. I know RDA has had his moments, but RDA really at this point in his career is not really one of the cream of the crop grapplers, to be honest. or one of those real guys you got to feel so concerned about unless you got weak points in your grappling. So highly likely, like if RDA wins one, it's gonna be on the decision, and probably a close one at that. Whereas Vicente Luque, I feel I have higher confidence in him submitting RDA and knocking RDA out than RDA knocking him out or submitting him. Matter of fact, I feel I just feel like really the only path for RDA to win is by decision, whereas Vicente Luque can win always. But I'm thinking it's gonna be Vicente Luque inside the distance. I think he'll be able to stalk and pick apart RDA, get him going backward, put him in the clinch, knee him to the body, elbow him and stuff. And I think him as a dog is a very good value. Like at him as a dog is a very good value. He's a younger fighter. Yes, he's come off this loss and that loss. But how did Bilal Muhammad? Bilal Muhammad is a younger, he's not the youngest fighter, but I think he's like 33. But he's sitting right in his prime. He's looking the best he's ever looked. And he still has that conditioning. He's not a guy that's pushing 40. He's a guy sitting right in his prime, getting better every fight. So he could push that style to beat Vicente Luque. And it still was somewhat a close fight. But yeah, Bilal Muhammad could do that style for 5 rounds. RDA is not going to be that fleet-footed guy mixing up on the outside. They're coming in. He's going to kind of be flat-footed a little bit. Maybe try to make some kicks in, like, slower, flatter-footed, lateral motion. But yeah, it's not going to be the same thing. Now, the rain's raining here, but y'all can get this acoustic in the background. I ain't going to pause it and wait till a time when the rain stops. So if y'all hearing it, y'all hearing it. If y'all not, y'all not. But it is what it is. No, there's going to be some ASMR for y'all right here. But, yeah, it's like, I'm making this a prediction video. Why am I making this prediction video? But anyway, I just think Vicente Luque has the tools to beat RDA, and he is at a better age. And I think maybe what's his name? Grant Neal? No, it's Jeff Neal. Grant Neal is the guy in Bellator. Jeff Neal is the welterweight in UFC. But yeah, but probably that looming in their mind, and a lot of people don't like Bilal Muhammad, so they feel like, oh, he lost to Bilal Muhammad, so RDA can do that. But RDA is not Bilal Muhammad. I think Bilal Muhammad would beat RDA pretty easy right now in his career. And yeah. I just think people don't like the fact that he lost to Bilal Muhammad, so that's kind of looming in their minds. And the fact that he did take that damage against Jeff Neal, and he's returning, I guess, sooner than they expected. But RDA ain't never really been a one-punch knockout guy. He never really been that big, heavy hitter guy, so I don't think it's going to be that big an issue. I feel the biggest issue for me, to be honest, might be leg kicks, kicks and takedown attempts. Really not even the kicks. Really not the kicks. The kicks can be distracting to set up the takedown. But ultimately, I feel 5 rounds. I don't feel like RDA is going to be able to have such a great success constantly taking down over the course of 5 rounds. And again, I feel his path to victory is going to likely lean to a decision. I don't see him getting no knockout. I don't see him getting no drops. I don't see him getting no submissions. Maybe he attempts some, but yeah, I don't feel like he can really hold down Luque consistently or take him down consistently. And ultimately, I feel like Luque going to crowd him and get him out of there in later rounds or middle rounds. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. That's really how I feel about that. So I'm going Luque there, and I like that value. And then the fourth one I was talking about, that's 3. So the fourth one I was talking about that I'm not picking, or I'm not really, first look, I'm not investing in at all, is why is Marcus McGee at -400? That's a trash value. I don't know what y'all think, how sharp you are, how not sharp you are. That's not a good value at all. Like, I would say leave that one alone. Leave that one alone. Or maybe really look it over, and I'm going to really look it over, but I don't care if you looked over for a week. Look it over for another week. Wait till the time to fight, because that value is trash. It's not going to get any better. I don't think it'll get any worse. Right now, it's already trash. Hopefully, you kind of expecting it to drop, then get on it. But at this point, at -400, they might as well make that -1,000. It's trash value. Trash value. I know people kind of look at JP Biles. Look at who JP Biles lost to. Montel Jackson is doing pretty well in the bantamweight division. He was projected to be a very good bantamweight, or one of the top bantamweights, maybe even a future champion at some point. And he hasn't suffered too many losses in the UFC. And he's on one of the better streaks of his career, looking the best he's ever looked. And JP Biles gave him hell for the first round. And then you look at Bruno Silva, not the middleweight Bruno Silva, but the flyweight, bantamweight Bruno Silva. He's a pretty solid guy. I think he lost maybe like one fight, maybe 2 fights, but very close fights. Now he's like on a 3-fight streak, looking real good. And Cody Durden looking pretty good right now. So everybody he lost to was looking real good, far better than anyone Marcus McGee has full or beaten. And yeah, he didn't really do nothing against Bruno Silva. He got dogged against Bruno Silva. He got dogged against Cody Durden, but he looked good against Montel Jackson for a round. So, but still, different level of competition. Should Marcus McGee win? Yes, but for that value and the fact that his grappling still has a lot of questionings to him, like question marks to it, and he did give, even in the little changes where Jordan Newsom was able to get brief takedowns, he did give his back, and that might be a bad mistake for a guy who's very slick and talented like JP Baez. JP Baez is a very talented guy. At the end of the day, he's a very talented guy. He just seemed like to be missing the pieces, maybe missing toughness, missing chin, missing durability. or something. But he's a very talented guy. He just misses some pieces. Will he connect those things? I'm not betting on him connecting the pieces, but I'm also not really putting all this high confidence in Marcus McGee to be a guy that's so much better that he's going to run through him with such confidence. Like at minus 400, no. It was minus. Matter of fact, for this one, I would want minus 150. Now I'm like, oh, that's a good value. But minus 200, I don't care for it. Minus 300, I really don't care for it. Anything beyond minus 300, I just feel like is trash value for me, to be honest, in this matchup. So yeah, trash value for me in this one. Maybe in the distance. Matter of fact, in the distance probably be good because JP Biden really ain't got a heart. So if he don't finish him early, he gonna get finished. And Marcus McGee could finish him early or late. So in the distance, probably looking good. Maybe even try to throw a general submission in. That might be like plus 300, plus 200. But in the distance, looking pretty lock. Because JP Biden, I don't see him winning the decision. And Marcus McGee, I don't see him. I can see him winning the decision, but yeah, it's like with JP Biden, like kill or be killed, basically. So it kind of falls on JP Bays, like he's either kill or be killed. So either he'll be able to get that submission and exploit that weakness in Marcus McGee, or Marcus McGee will be able to find his chin consistently and put him out, or he'll fade and Marcus McGee will be, even more inclined to finish them. So yeah, that's my take on that one. That was my 4. So let me just my 3 and 1, my 1 question mark. So to lean to y'all, like make y'all think about that pick a little bit more. So 3 to look out for is Jacqueline Amarim. She's like high 200s right now. I'm high minus 200s. Good value, considering all things. Khalil Roundtree, low 200s. Great value considering all things. And Vicente Luque at minus, I think he had like minus 108 right now. And some ones he had plus 110. So phenomenal value. So you got a great value in Khalil Roundtree. You got a good value in Amarim. And you got a phenomenal value in Vicente Luque. And also look to get that one in the disc because his core, Vicente Luque is a killer. He's a finisher. Whether that be on the feet, in the clinch, Dars or whatnot, that guy's a finisher, and I think he's gonna win, and I think he's gonna win by finish. So yeah, that's my 3. Then the 4th one to not really pick, but question about McGee at minus 400. Definitely a head scratcher, and I personally would not recommend anyone that I know or watch this video really get in on that at that value. Like just straight up money line minus 400, I said minus 140, minus 400. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. There's better bets. There's better values out there. There's better positions. And I'm not saying it's the only picks on the whole card. This is just first look. I'll look into some more. But off the top, from just looking at it and examining it, those aren't the value. Well, that ain't the value. That minus 400 is trash. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And come back for more videos. Peace.